and I are going to take some time and go through one of the biggest questions we've received here just lately. What methods work best for marketing medical billing services? So, folks, this is a great webinar. We hope that you take some notes, but also we want to encourage you to ask questions throughout the webinar today. So please, if you'll see on the right-hand side, you'll see a place where you can start maybe even typing some of your questions as we go through. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started because there is a lot of ground we want to actually cover here this afternoon. Again, my name is Eric Ojay. I'm the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems, and certainly want to welcome you here to this Wednesday afternoon, January the 30th, and I cannot believe we're already 1 month into 2013. So, folks, I can only encourage you, if you're looking to get into this business, time doesn't wait for anybody to get started, so you may want to look at getting started pretty quickly. Let me share with you who American Business Systems is and who we are and what we do. For the past 20 years, we have been helping folks just like you that are on the call today. You can see all walks of life, working from home, doing medical billing, and although it started off very small and simple and just medical billing, there are several services that you can actually get to the doctors that is going to help you increase your own business and market share. Our billing service is now a web-based service that you can see here on our screen. You can see it that it can be run from computers, whether you're running a Mac. So many people have asked us about Macs, but you can run the system off of a Mac or an iPad, an iPhone, or if you have a PC or one of the PC tablets, those certainly do work also. We want to also remind you that there are actually two ways to learn about American Business Systems. One is through our website, www.absystems.com. Certainly there's a lot of information there, especially under the income potential and the business package. Now you can see all of these different services that you as a business owner in medical billing can provide to the doctors. But for those that want to continue their due diligence and even a deeper to know about the opportunity and the section and getting clients, you certainly want to click on one of those orange buttons. That will allow you to get over here to what's called our virtual brochure. And in each of these sections about the opportunity, getting clients, training, support, the technology behind your business, and then actually the final steps of what you need to do to get involved with American Business Systems, everything should be answered right there. But we know that not all answers are going to be there, so we want to encourage you to talk to your ABS rep to learn more about the business, and like you're doing today, you're on the webinar with us today. We are part of Healthcare Billing and Management Association. It's one of the largest groups here in the United States about billing and coding and revenue cycle management. So you want to certainly be able to check us out there. Also, ABS has had the highest rate possible with the Fort Worth Better Business Bureau. I'll get that out here in a moment. We have an A+ rating, and folks, I think we had our meeting last week, and we were very happy to hear that we didn't have any complaints last year, and we're just so excited, and we're doing all that we can do to keep our licensees what they need, give them everything that they need, and certainly support them. You always can come by our office here at 5751 Kroger Drive here in Keller, Texas. Certainly you can always have the opportunity to come by and visit us, and we're even talking about different ways that you can do that. Our next training class, if you're really looking to get started, is February the 25th through March the 1st. We have our training classes every 6 weeks, so our next class after this will not be until April. So if you're looking at trying to get started and you want to get started the first quarter of this year, this is the only class that you'll be able to get into at least for the first quarter of this year. So give us a call here at 866-565-8413 and talk to one of the ABS reps that you're working with. Let me introduce to you our owner, CEO of American Business Systems. He has authored several books, as you can see here. If you haven't gotten a copy of this Reprogram Yourself for Success, maybe ask the question about how you can get that, or any of these other books, Wake Up and Live the Life You Love, or this one right here. We're actually going to be talking very much about this particular book today, Cash Crunch to Cash Flow, which you'll be able to see how it's going to be able to be used in your marketing. So, Patrick, I'm excited about the topic today. I'm glad that we're both here. So let's get this thing kicked off, and again, let's talk about some marketing techniques. So, Patrick, welcome this afternoon.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. And folks, we are going to cover a lot of information, as we always do on these webinars. I had a guy write to us last week, Eric, and said, man, you talk fast for a Texan. But we just got a lot of stuff to cover on these webinars, you know. So anyway, guys, we're going to jump right into this. I hope it's of value to you because, first of all, I want to talk about marketing in general, getting business for any business. It's very personal, isn't it, Eric? I mean, some people like certain ways to market, and some people like other ways.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a relationship type business. Patrick, we get to ask the question, how quickly can I get a client? And Patrick, we know that the system works because doctors are hurting out there. You know, so it really does get down to the personal level. I always ask, how quickly can you get people to like you? That's really what I get to ask back.
Yeah. A lot of it has to do with people getting to the point where they not just like you, but they trust you.
Right.
This is a very weird economy that we live in, and the world we live in, actually, because there's not a lot of trust out there. And people who come across as somebody that is real, that's not trying to pull the wool over your eyes, that seems trustworthy, we want to do business with that kind of person.
Right.
And so just remember, as we go through today's webinar, folks, that all of the things that we're going to be talking about may not appeal to you. There may be certain things that you go, wow, that's a great idea, I never thought about that. And others you may look at and go, that's old hat, I've done that before, I know how to do it, it's no big deal, or I would never do that in my whole life, you know, no matter what. So
right.
We try to point out to people, even during the training class, that's why we cover so many different ways to market, is that it is very personal. So let's jump into what are the most common ways to get clients. Now, this is in general. I'm talking in general here. So all of you have seen probably one or more of these types. The most common ways to market anything includes, of course, all the things that you'll see popping up on your screen here. Now, folks, there's nothing new about some of these. The unique part of what we do is we pick out the things that really do work because, believe it or not, we tried just about every one of these, haven't we, Eric, over the years?
Right.
We've been doing this for, going on 20 years now. And so there's hardly anything we haven't given at least one try to. And some of the things we're going to point out today, you should not ever do, ever. Should not spend money or time doing those things. So as you'll see as we go through the thing, there's very good stuff here. Some of this is good stuff. But now, I put this up here because I want you guys to let it sink in that there are a lot of ways. What is that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? There's about 20 different ways to market things. And I've probably left some out that are out there that are pretty common. But the point is, guys, that there's a lot of things out there. The real question is this: what really works best for marketing medical billing services? Because, Eric, this is not like this is not like pots and pans, is it? Or vacuum cleaners.
No, it's not anything that's even close to even what, let's kind of put it in the field of medical. It's not even close to what pharmaceutical reps even do.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
they've at least got something, a product that they can give a doctor a sample of, and the doctor can give it to his patients and find out if it really works,
Right, yeah, so this is, and it's like, I think what your next slide is going to be talking about is really positioning yourself, number one, and I like to just say this, and I think you've said it so many times too, Patrick, just look like you know what you're doing, positioning yourself for success.
Yeah, we call it positioning yourself as the expert. Look, in any field, folks, when you start looking for somebody to, let's say, sell your insurance to you, for your family. You want somebody that you think is very knowledgeable. Same way with a real estate agent. You want somebody to sell your house or help you find a new home. You want somebody that you feel like is not just a professional, but they're the expert. They're the best person you could possibly work with. Financial advisors, same thing. Attorneys, CPAs. We're all looking for that professional that is positioning themselves in the community, in the business world as the expert. So let's talk about another thing here called third-party credibility. This is something that everybody is looking for, and that you want to be able to share with your prospective clients. And that is bring in some way what they call third-party credibility. Look at this quote here from Bob Berg, who is one of the people that I've been on the stage with doing public speaking. The Art of Persuasion book that he wrote, he wrote in there, people will accept your ideas much more readily if you just tell them Benjamin Franklin said it first. That's third-party credibility, right?
Well, Patrick, and I love that because, you know, it kind of goes back to some of the things that we've always heard about. You know, you always have to have like two witnesses to do anything anyway. It's kind of it's that same type of influence or persuasion of anything. It's not that I say it, but other people are saying it. So that's what I think we need to share with everybody about. And as a licensee of American Business Systems, we provide you as a licensee that third-party credibility, and one is with the book. So, Patrick, talk a little bit about your method behind the Cash Crunch to Cash Flow book.
Yeah, one of the things that you can position yourself, for example, out in the marketplace with this book. By the way, it's a paperback book, about 176 pages. You can get it on Amazon.com. In fact, I took a screenshot here just to show you today. You can go out and look it up there on Amazon. You'll see it's $14.95. And folks, this builds the credibility because you're giving the doctor a book that was written by, first of all, me, you'll notice, who you can position as the founder of the nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies. Now, that's a mouthful, but it just basically says that maybe Patrick Phillips knows what he's doing, right? We've got over 1,500 licensees that we've put into this business and taught how to do this business over the past 20 years. So, folks, that gives you credibility because you're giving them a gift. You actually use this as a gift. It sells for $14.95 on the book stores, but I think your cost on it is like $3 as a licensee of ABS. So it's a great giveaway. We teach you how to mark it up, by the way, and put your name in the front cover of it. We go through in our class certain sections that you should highlight and little tabs that you put in the book so that when you give it to a doctor, it's not just a book on his desk. He looks at it and goes, what is this? They've even marked some pages. And when they look at those pages, those all have highlighted quotes that hopefully helps the doctor realize that this could be a very valuable book. Maybe he'll read the whole thing, maybe he won't. But the point is that we've given him some information there and that third-party credibility that you need. The other co-author, by the way, I'm going to go back to the book, is a friend of mine who is a CPA, Brian Malatestis. So since we're talking about helping the doctor get more money faster into their professional practice and plug the hidden leaks that are draining their profits, I thought it would be good to have somebody who works with numbers all day long, a CPA, be the so there's that third-party credibility that we talked about.
Hey, Patrick, go back to your little screen there with the little tabs there. There you go. One of the things that works really well for doctors, again, the book in and of itself is a great. It's not a flyer. It's because that's what's common out there when people do marketing.
Yeah,
and
brochure.
we do have flyers and brochures. But the book with these little tabs, Patrick, doctors don't have time to sit down and read a book.
Right.
This is a great way for a doctor to say, oh, they've already got this thing marked up for me. I can go to these certain areas. This is awesome.
It shows you appreciate.
Awesome.
Yeah, it shows that you can appreciate the doctor's time is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
So you've saved them the time of having to read the whole thing. If they want to, they could, of course. Hopefully they read some of the highlighted things and go, wow, I might need to read more of this.
Absolutely.
Anyway, there's one of the tools that we give you folks that you wouldn't have available on your own out there, at least, or from any other company, obviously. And what about this credibility, Eric? You know all about this, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you, it's a passion of mine, as you well know. It's doing the live demos for your prospective clients. And Patrick, there is just not any other business out there that does this or can do this. We literally are your third-party credibility. It can imagine this. Now, you that's on the call today or that's going to listen to the call on later, imagine us being on the phone through a GoTo webinar, just very similar to this, or GoTo meeting. You're on there, your prospective doctor's on there, and we're on there answering all the questions and going through the billing side of it, the EMR side of it. Again, positioning you as that expert through our 20 years of experience. Because Patrick, a lot of people do ask, how can I that doesn't know anything about medical billing, how can I be credible? Well, when you team up with us, that's what you're getting instantaneous. You're getting instantaneous credibility and instantaneous expertise, subject matter experts.
Yeah, so let's picture this. I didn't do a very good job of picturing this from this slide here, but this computer up here at the top, of course, imagine that that's us, ABS, our staff members who are using GoToMeeting technology like we're using on this webinar today to connect with you. This is you and maybe your spouse or partner down here in the bottom left-hand corner. If you're on the meeting at the same time from your home office, let's say, the doctor is in his office looking at this demonstration and listening to it, of course, across his computer, just like you're doing today on this webinar. So we're doing all of the demonstration, answering all the questions about all the different aspects of the iClaim system and how we can utilize it to help the doctor increase their revenue. That's what it's all about, isn't there, Eric? That's what you zero in when you do a demo.
Yeah, Patrick, because the last thing we want any of our licensees to get into is to fall into that trap of, let me go sell a piece of software.
Right.
And we don't, although we use the software, but we use the software to increase the doctor's revenue. So I'm really glad you brought that up.
Yeah, because it's really not all about the software, folks. That's kind of secondary, although it is nice to know that we have the latest leading-edge technology. It's what that technology can do to help that doctor reduce their rejection rate on their claims being submitted. It's all tied into our iClaim EMRX system, which, of course, has the clearinghouse built into it as well. So, there's no blaming one person or one entity or another. If the claim doesn't go through, it's our fault. But, Eric, what is our nationwide rejection rate? And Eric's our Director of Research and Development. What is it averaging right now?
Well, I can certainly say without a shadow of a doubt it's below 2%.
Yeah.
Below 2%.
And that's unheard of. Folks, if you're not familiar with the normal out there is around 30% rejection rate for most doctors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's pretty incredible. And a lot of doctors go, there's no way you can do that, and we do show them. So, no.
Hey, we probably ought to even mention the fact that we're open to take some questions as we go through this too, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Folks, again, let me encourage you to use the question box. If you have any questions, you can see we're sort of going through this in some sections here. So if you've got a particular question about an area that we're talking about, that's the best time to ask some of your questions. So at this point, Patrick, we don't see any questions, so let's move right along.
Yeah, before I move on, though, I want to say one other thing, because I know we go through this awfully fast, and people haven't really wrapped their head around this, but the way it works, folks, is you just get a doctor to give you a couple of dates or times where they have, 30, 45 minutes to look at your presentation, and you arrange for that through an online registration system. It's all web-based. So you go online, you register it, you get a link to the webinar, you and your doctor get that link, and then you just show up on it, just like you did today on this webinar. And you're on the phone, you're on the computer, however you want to be connected to it. Our presenter, our person who's giving the demo is on there, and we're answering all the doctor's questions. You don't have to do a thing but just sit and listen. And Eric, what is the one word you hear more than anything as you go through those demos with the doctor? What does the doctor say?
That's good. Wow is really it. Wow. Yeah. I didn't realize that and so let me just say a little portion about that. And we don't say that to be too flippantly. The doctors really do say wow. But you know what that is telling us, Patrick? It's telling us that they have never seen a system like this. And,
they didn't even know that the technology was available to do some of the things that we do, like, online real-time eligibility checking and that kind of thing.
Right, and so that's what, from the doctor standpoint of view, because a lot of, even I've talked with a lot of folks that are even on the call today and that will listen later on, they'll say, what differentiates you out there or our services out there than any other billing systems or EMR systems? We hear that real-time feedback from the doctors because they don't see that. They don't see, again, like what Patrick was saying about the real-time eligibility. But even more than that, how about the real-time seeing of the clearinghouse? That's what's unbelievable. And Pat's kind of showing that a little bit to you right now. When the doctor can see and log in and click one button and get this on their screen, this, I hate to even use the word sells, but this sells it. This kind of wraps up the deal.
It does. The doctor looks at this and goes, wow, maybe they're hesitant to outsource their billing because, of the lack of transparency that they have from their current biller or even from the people in their own office. This way, 24/7, from any computer or device that's connected to the Internet, that doctor can log in and see the real-time status of all the claims, which means the status of his or her money. And that's all they're interested in. Look,
right.
Doctors only want to do two things. They want to treat patients, and they want to get paid.
Right.
And we let them focus on the first one, and we help them with the second.
Hey, a couple of questions have come in, so we kind of rattled the trees there for a little bit. So here we go. Don's asking the question, can I get a book before you take your training? And if you're talking about the Cash Crunch to Cash Flow book, John,
sure.
Yes, you can. Yeah, we'll just get with one of us and just request of getting one of those books, and we'll see what we can do to get you a copy of it. Or, like, you can go on to Amazon.com and get one there. But, if you're on the call today, just talk to us. We'll see about getting you a copy.
Yeah, we'll just get back with the person who's been sending you the emails to these webinars. That person here at ABS can get you a copy of that book. Yeah. Okay, what else? Any other questions you want to address?
Manish says, if you say that the average rejection is 2%, so does the system, is it able to explain that to a prospective doctor and client? Yes, we do, Manish, we actually do that for you and show them, as what Patrick is showing on the screen right now, we're literally able to show the doctor. Now, this is what we're talking about, less than a 2% rejection rate, and the doctors actually get that. So that's a great question there. And this one, I love the question from Steve. He says, most offices in my area belong to a hospital network. Can we set up a network or an ACO? The answer is absolutely yes.
Yes. Don't go there, Eric.
Don't
go there yet. We're working on something that's pretty exciting right now behind the scenes, and I'm having to hold Eric back. But folks,
ACOs are a great opportunity, Steve, because really, if you know anything about ACOs are very specifically privately held, private physician groups within those ACO groups. So yeah, those are great there.
Yes, very good question there, Steve. We'll tell you more about that as we get some things finalized. Remember, we're always doing constant research and trying to find other things that our licensees can offer, and that's one of them.
Yep. Okay, Patrick, we'll take this last question here, and then we'll move to the next session. Dean's asking, when ABS does the presentations to a prospective client, would that be a regular assistance to the licensee or additional service as ABS part for a fee?
The demos?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Do we charge for the demos?
Not at all. Folks, that's a part of why you pay us. What some people are wondering, why do I pay this large licensing fee up front to you guys? It's because we're going to cover everything, folks. We're not going to nickel and dime you on the back end. In fact, I want to throw this in, Eric, because it is important that people realize that we make money on the services that you offer to the doctors on the back end. We make a few pennies on each one of the transactions. So we're vitally interested in helping you to get clients. That's why we don't charge for the demos. Okay.
Yep, and that's why we don't charge franchise fees or royalty fees. That it's a beautiful setup there for you.
And that's why your licensing fee includes lifetime support. That means as long as you are an ABS licensee running claims through our system, you're going to have our support. There's no annual or quarterly fees. There's no upgrade fees to the system. Again, folks, we don't nickel and dime you to death on the back end. Okay, Eric, I wanted to talk just a moment about one of the things that we teach people to do, and that is not just to have that third-party credibility through our demos and using our books, but doing what we refer to as educational marketing. folks, part of what you have to position yourself in the marketplace nowadays is to be the expert who can share with your prospective clients educational materials. Now, we have a lot of different ways that you can do that as an ABS licensee. One of them is the literature that we've spent over $100,000 developing and producing so that it looks very corporate, very consistent throughout all of the literature. And, of course, you can have these brochures printed with your company name and logo on them as well. And these are the types of things that on a regular basis you can send out to your prospects that will educate them on all the different ways that you can help them solve their cash flow problems. Eric, you want to talk to them about our automated follow-up system we have with the postcards?
Right, folks. You can see now. This is part of what you get as an ABS licensee. And again, the time and the effort, the design and the cost just to get to where we are right here, it would just take you way too much time and effort. That's why this is here for you to utilize. We already have what you're seeing here is a postcard, and they're already set up in campaigns through one of our services called AutoCard. And not only can the doctor use AutoCard, you also can use AutoCard to do your marketing. And Patrick, we just launched this again, and we kind of did this with one of our other licensees, and tell them what kind of reaction that they got by just getting this started again.
Oh, you're talking about Cynthia? Yeah, she just emailed us and said, guys, I wanted to test this out so I could talk to the licensees about it at training. She's one of our instructors, by the way, that we fly in to do the training here in Dallas. And she said, I sent the first postcard out the very first day that they were received by people in the mail. I got a phone call from a lady who said, you know, I'd like to talk to you. Can you come talk to me? So she set an appointment with the lady. I haven't heard back. That was just the first of this week. So we'll see what happens. But this is an automated system, folks. Like he said, it sets up a campaign, and you literally can set it and forget it. And these cards go out once every week, or once every 2 weeks, once every month, however you want to set it up, automatically in the mail. These are full-color postcards from your company to the doctor, and the office manager gets to see them, of course, and hopefully that's passed on to the doctor. But the point is, you're touching base with these people. Folks, sometimes you approach a doctor's office, and they're not interested right now in outsourcing their billing. Or maybe they've already decided to outsource it, and somebody else is doing their billing. So how is it that you stay at the top of their mind so that when they do have a problem with their current biller, they want to look at another resource like you? You do that through automatic follow-up with cards like this. So we'll teach you all about that in the class, how that works. It's very inexpensive. You're going to be shocked at how little this costs to do, and yet it stays in contact with all of your prospective clients that are out there. Yeah, we call it educational marketing.
You know what's nice about this is, again, a licensee may meet a doctor at a networking meeting, or may even meet an office manager at a networking meeting, and the doctor says, or the office manager says, no, we don't need that right now. But you put them on this campaign, and all of a sudden, a month, 2 months goes down the road, the doctor just gets furious and says, look, just get rid of our billing company. Do you have anybody in mind?
Right. And you better be the one that they have in mind. Now, Eric, you happen to know that. I know from experience.
That is correct.
Tell them what happened when you marketed out there. He did a little research here locally.
Yeah, it was about a year and a half ago, and we did that with a doctor here locally. And at the time, we even made our presentations.
And they went with another company.
They went with another company, and we just said, that's fine. And immediately we put them on this. I think we kind of set up, Patrick, didn't we? We went out, every 2 weeks, maybe it was even once a month.
It was just once a month, yeah.
Once a month. And then, would you know, that was I think that was October of 2011, and January of 2012, guess what happened? We got the call. The doctor says, whoever we talked to last time and who's ever sending these cards, get them back in here now.
Yeah, because, well, first of all, let me tell you why they went with another company, folks. We teach our licensees how to price their services correctly, and that means not going in and being the cheapest guy out there. So that's what Eric Eric did. He approached this doctor with a certain fee that he wanted to get from that doctor and would not adjust that fee down. They went with somebody who was, a 0.5% less or something than what Eric had bid. So we said, fine, let them take them. They'll be coming back to us. And sure enough, like Eric said, 5 or 6 months later, here they were calling back up. And I'll never forget when you walked into the meeting with the office manager who'd been getting these cards in the mail, what'd she say to you, Eric? Something like, wow, you sure are a good marketer.
Yeah, she goes, you're a very good marketer, and the way that you did it was very professional.
Yeah.
And, doctors don't have time. They don't want to be hounded. But, we're showing you. Patrick, I think, we're not going to get to I don't think we're going to get to all of your slides today.
No.
But, folks, this is just a taste of what you're going to get out of training. So, take this for what it is worth right now in our webinars that we're doing today. And again, I would say this, Patrick, I don't think there's any other company out there that would even show any marketing techniques prior to training. So,
Well, yeah, and we had a little comment here by somebody who said, can you go into a little more detail? Well, folks, again, on an hour-long webinar like this, we can't go into too much detail. And, of course, that's why we have a 40-hour week here in Dallas that you come down. Most of that, well, not most of it, I guess about half of it in there is about the marketing.
Oh, yeah, and I would almost say about 75% really is more about the marketing. So that's what you're learning. You're learning how to go get those clients because, again, we want you to get out there and be successful. There's no doubt. Let's talk
folks,
about the practice analysis, Patrick.
Okay. First, let me say this. Well, there's companies out there, folks, who will teach you, and there's books on how to start a medical billing business that say, just send out a letter that says, hey, we just opened an office here and we do medical billing and here's what we can do for you, blah, blah, blah. Just send out a bunch of letters and doctors will just flock to you. You better have something else to do besides sitting by the phone if you do that, folks, because we've tried that. We can tell you that doesn't work. So if you want to know how to get doctors, we're telling you. This is the way to do it. An automated follow-up system like this, and of course, we just happen to have it. So, okay. All right. Oh, wow, that went by fast. I don't know what happened there. Okay, I'm going to try to go back.
There you go.
I lost complete control here.
Lost control.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
The free practice analysis. Well, this is something that we came up with several years back, Eric. You know that my wife was doing medical billing here in Fort Worth back in 1987 when she started. And at one point, she wanted me to help her kind of build her business. And I was a computer consultant, independent consultant at the time, which means I was unemployed. So I went out and figured out that what doctors really want is the same thing that they do to you. When you go to visit a doctor, they will poke you and take your temperature and your blood pressure, and they will look in your ears and mouth and all that. They're just doing an analysis of your health, right? So we learned and came up with a way to do the same thing for the doctor. We want to poke their pain and see if there is some pain in their cash flow. So we came up with a practice analysis questionnaire. It's actually 2 pages. This is just the first page here. But the point is we ask them specific questions, and we go into detail in our training as to how to ask these questions, what answers you can expect to get, and how to ask the questions correctly. And basically get the information that you need to go back and make a proposal. And folks, this is one of the ways you market this. Look, we tell people if you're a salesperson, you better forget most of what you know.
Right. And what I like to talk about this, about the practice analysis questionnaire, and for most people that are on the phone that may have come out of the corporate world, folks, if you look at this on the screen, this is nothing more than what you would consider to be what's called a gap analysis. It shows the gap between what the doctor's currently doing and what they could be doing. And so from the kind of the corporate mentality, this is all this is. And then through being a licensee, you're able to take this information here and then dump that information into a very nice report. Now, I know we don't have time to show the report today, but that just kind of gives you a little bit of feel for what this practice analysis can do.
Yeah, and then like I said, we teach you in the training class how to go and prepare a proposal. We have a template that you can open up and just edit it and add some figures and so forth, and take that back to the doctor to make the proposal to the doctor. So we've kind of got this down to a science after 20 years, and that's one of the things. By the way, it's a free practice analysis. That doesn't mean that you offer it for free, because actually it probably has a value of a couple $100 at least to the office to find out what you find out once you come back and do the analysis on it. But you can say it's a $200 value and you're going to do it at no cost for them. And so that's one of the ways that we teach our licensees to market. And again, we're going into this in very little detail here. We go through an entire series of teaching people how to do it. They actually break out in little sessions and do this analysis, and then we have a class discussion about how it went. So we go into a lot more detail than we're able to do here in the training, the webinar today. Okay, well, one of the ways that you can market your medical services, believe it or not, is to your warm market. They call it a warm market. Doesn't that sound warm and cozy?
Right.
And what is a warm market, Eric?
Well, it's just people that we know. I can't remember the gentleman that wrote that book on that. You know, everybody knows 250 people.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot his name too.
Yeah.
But it's on networking. It's Harvey McKay.
Yeah, Harvey McKay. Yeah, he talked about how everybody knows at least 250 people, and so what we do. We want you to show this to folks that you know that, as you're getting into the business, we teach you how to use your warm market, because, again, when you're sharing this with your friends and your family, listen, somebody knows somebody, and if they can talk to them, and a lot of times, Patrick, you might even know a doctor at your local church or organization that you go to and just say, hey, doc, I've got this business going here, and I just kind of walk you through a few of these things. You can give me a little bit of feedback. And licensees have gotten a brand new client just out doing that.
Sure, that happens all the time. Now, you want to do that in a certain way. Remember, folks, you're not really looking for you don't know that many doctors or office managers probably. It's the people that they know. So think outside the box here. And so when you do this little presentation, by the way, we have it printed out. We go through it in the class in a little flip chart, but we also have it, of course, electronically, so you can use it, in your iPad or your laptop or whatever. But the point is that it is a set presentation that you go through step by step. I've actually got some of the slides right here that we give to you and let you go through and present to that person what you can do for doctors. Now, if they know a doctor, they're going to say, oh, well, I've got a friend, I got a brother-in-law who's a chiropractor, he probably even, needs this. And that's what we're doing, folks. We're tapping into that. But you got to have the right tools. You need to know the right story. You need to know what to say to connect to those people and get them to sit down for, a half hour or so and go through that with you. So that's your warm market. Believe it or not, that's one of the big things that we utilize to help licensees get their first client. And many, many licensees have gotten it from using the warm market. Okay, business networking is the next big thing that's out there. One of the things we do in the class, again, is go into real detail. If you're not sure what business networking is, it's just getting together with other business people in your community. We'll tell you how to find those groups and connect with them. But look at this poll that was taken recently by a marketing company to find out which one marketing medium has brought you the biggest returns. Now, look at the number at the top. That's the biggest one, of course, referrals. Naturally, if you already had a client, then you know how to get clients, right? But that's a referral from an existing client. But look at the bottom. The next biggest number there is networking. So in most businesses in your community, believe it or not, do not know the secret of how to do business networking. I happen to have actually produced a CD on business networking. And it's right here on a website called How to Marketing Interview Reports with the World's Top Marketing Experts. I'm one of them. And we teach you exactly some of the things that I teach in this CD presentation. And that is, why does business networking work so well? What are some of the best places to network in your community? How do you find those networking groups? How do you find what we call power partners to connect with there at those meetings? how to create your little 30-second commercial when you go to those meetings, and what not to say and do when you go out networking as well. We've seen some pretty bad networkers in our time, haven't we, Eric?
Yes, there's no doubt.
I can tell you a lot of things not to do. For example, do not eat a bowl of, something with garlic in it before you go to a networking meeting. That's my first clue.
Well, I think if anybody's ever gone to a networking meeting, and I mean, we've got a good crowd here today. I mean, there's a ton of people here. But, it's just, we've all been to them to some degree. And, what you learn here with American Business Systems not only helps you get clients, but it truly becomes a way to sharpen your skills at just being able to talk to people. And that's what it comes down to, Patrick. It just comes to, can I talk in front of one or two people? And so we work with our licensees, brand new licensees, folks that have felt uncomfortable talking within a group. And, I like to say this, Patrick, that week of training, it's a safe environment to be in to kind of work out some of these things. So, folks, we want you to understand that we do know the importance of this, and we do know that we take this seriously about helping you get clients. You have got to take it seriously, and one of those serious things you need to do is do a little bit of networking. So that's why Patrick's got this up here.
Yeah, that's why, Eric, I'm glad you said that. I don't think we've ever said that in a webinar about our training. It's a very safe environment in that we do not call on anybody specifically to do or say or stand up or answer a question. I teach my instructors specifically, do not put anybody on the spot at all during this class. You're not going to have to do anything that you don't want to do. Hooking up, connecting with other people, exercises, breakouts, and that type of thing, it's all voluntary. But you'll see that after about, I'd say by the end of the first day, most people are already pretty good friends with everybody in the classroom. It's a small class, usually about 15 to 20 people, and it's a very safe environment to be in. Thanks for even bringing that up, Eric.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, now, folks, social media, you know what that involves, of course. That's Facebook, Twitter, Meetup, and about 3 dozen other things that are out there. These are some of the bigger ones that are right now, how to promote yourself on social media. We actually touch on this now in the training, Eric. You know that we just added this, and we go into pretty good detail about how to utilize these the right way because, folks, there is a wrong way to market your services on Facebook or Twitter. You can be blackballed or unfriended or unliked by people if you do it the wrong way. Meetup is a way of actually finding groups in your area that actually meet physically. They meet at restaurants, usually for a meal or somewhere after hours to just meet up. And it's a great way to connect with other people and do that networking we mentioned earlier. So we'll be going into detail in all of the aspects of how to do social media marketing. Again, these are the best ways to market medical billing. Again, some of them may appeal to you, some of them may not. It's okay. You can do any of these or none of them at all, of course.
Well, Patrick, I'm glad you interjected that because, there may be some people on here and go, well, gosh, are they telling me anything I don't know at this point? I mean, let's address that real quickly because people are going to say, well, yeah, I know about Facebook, and I know about Twitter, and I know about networking, and I know about this and that, everything that you've said up to this point.
That's a good point.
And the real that a little bit.
Well, the real question is this. You may have heard of all of these things, any one of these things, but have you figured out how to apply it to marketing medical billing services? Eric, it's not as easy as people think to go out and build this business. We know that because we have people who buy our license and come through our training who've been out there trying it on their own, sometimes for several years. Right. You remember the lady that came through just last year, Deb is her first name. I won't mention her last name. But anyway, Deb came through, and she had been in medical billing for years and had started her own company even, but she just didn't know how to build it. She didn't know how to add any clients. And so it's applying each one of these things in such a way that it actually helps you get clients. Remember, I spent a lot of time and money when my wife started doing the medical billing, figuring out what worked and what didn't work. And you'll notice, well, we haven't got to this yet, but there are some things you should not do for sure. And I spent a lot of money on those letters and other ways that I didn't know what I was doing. So this has taken us 20 years to get here, folks, to know the right way to do it. It's kind of like you could open a sandwich shop and just call it, Bob's Sandwiches. Why do you go out and spend $75,000 for a Subway sandwich shop? You know the ingredients of a Subway. You could buy those ingredients and start a a sandwich shop. You do that because there are certain things that Subway does to help their franchisees build their business. Well, that's what you're getting with ABS, is kind of a turnkey package.
And it's so interesting that, again, we're showing some ways how to do marketing. And Patrick, you've been doing marketing for, 40 years. 40, yeah, okay, long time. I know I've been doing it at least for 20 years myself.
Yeah.
But we've been able to pull our marketing ideas together and focus them on this. And the reason I say that is because I just recently got an email from someone that says, you know what, I like someone else's software over maybe yours or something like that. And it's not about the software. It's about what we're able to do and to deliver on these things here. Just because there's another company that does something very similar to what American Business Systems, and they can maybe show you all the bells and whistles of everything. I'm telling you, there's nobody doing the things that we're doing here, especially helping you get your clients.
Yeah, the demos alone, folks, is worth a $25,000 fee. To have a company that will get on with a doctor and spend an hour, hour and a half, whatever the doctor wants to spend, and go through every aspect of what you can do, you, the licensee that's going to do the billing, what you can do to solve their cash flow problems, that's unheard of.
Right.
And again, it's only because we built the model the right way. The model is that we don't just charge you a license fee and then we have no interest at all in you after that. We have an interest because we make money on the services. We're being upfront and let you know that's why we can help you be successful and want to help you be as successful as possible.
Right. Hey, Patrick, it's about 10 till the top of the hour here. Why don't you jump to that place over there of some things that they shouldn't do, and then let's kind of wrap things up with maybe some more questions. So while Patrick's going to this other screen here, folks, if you have any particular questions, type those questions in. But let's kind of talk about some of the things that maybe some people shouldn't do, and then we'll take some questions here.
All righty then. Let me see if I can get there because I can't pass up sales reps, Eric. I need to talk about sales reps.
That's good.
Okay, so I skipped a bunch of slides here, folks, and I got to this one because it is important that you know that maybe you don't think that you know how to market at all, or you don't have the time. Maybe you're working a full-time job. We've had people build their business, folks, utilizing sales reps. We teach you how to advertise for them, how to hire them, how to interview them, how to train them, and how to pay them. And these are commission sales reps. You don't have to pay money up front. There's people out there that love to go out and quote unquote sell a service or a product. And so we'll teach you how to find those people. They can do that for you. They'll bring the contracts right to you. Okay, I got that out of my system.
No, that's good. And because I think people, they feel like, I can't go out there and market or talk to people. I will say this, though, on the other hand, yes, you can go out there and find reps, but know that it's going to cut into your profit a little bit. So maybe the best thing to do is learn how to build your skill and like some of the things that we've talked about, and you don't have to have a sales rep. So there's several, you can do it, but also we want to encourage you that you yourself can be your best representative of your company.
That's right. We're going to teach you not just, we're not just going to give you a fish. We're going to teach you how to fish. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. Right. Absolutely.
All right. Now, we have learned, as Eric is pointing out, that there are some methods that don't work or that you should not use. And, folks, again, this came after years of trying it. I can tell you the money that I've spent on things that should never have been spent. But I learned, and now we are very, very specific about what not to do in our training with you. Now, I'm going to show you some of those things right here in this slide, and I'm letting you know that this actually came out of a book that's out there that says that it will teach you how to get into the medical billing business. You can find it in the major bookstores that are out there. But in this book, and I've got this in quotes here. I don't know why they're in two colors. Part of it's black and part of it's blue there. But anyway, the point is, this is here because, in quotes, because it came right out of this book. This author says that you should create a fax campaign. Now, Eric, talk to them just for a moment about faxes and why that could be very dangerous.
Well, there are legal things that you have to be able to do if you're ever going to do fax campaigns. And first of all, that is never, ever a recommendation of American Business System.
No. We have in the past ourselves used fax campaigns, but that was before all the laws changed, folks.
Yeah.
There are real strict laws that if you send a fax to somebody that didn't request it, they can sue you for $500 for that one fax.
Right.
Yeah. So here's a guy who says he's an authority in how to do medical billing, and he's teaching to create. All right. So number 2. Don't advertise in the Yellow Pages. He says to do that. Folks, that's very expensive. A little bitty quarter of a page ad could run you $400 or $500 a month. And Eric, I don't even know who uses Yellow Pages anymore.
Well, I was about to say, we've got an indicator, little hand thing here. Everybody raise your hand, click on your little hand there if you still use a paper Yellow Pages.
I haven't seen a Yellow Pages in years. I don't even.
Nobody's hands going up.
Yeah, I don't know where you'd get it.
Nobody's hands are going
Everybody's using the internet. So anyway, in his book, he says advertise in the Yellow Pages. Number 3, he says seek out local and community print advertising opportunities. He means newspaper ads.
Right.
Again, very expensive, and who subscribes to a newspaper and reads it anymore?
I thought somebody typed in, I think it's Monty, she says, where it says they still exist? Yellow Pages?
Yeah. And look, doctors don't say, Mary, you were complaining about the billing the other day. Go to the Yellow Pages and see if you can.
Rob says there are digital Yellow Pages that are relatively inexpensive. Very good, Rob.
That's true.
You can advertise in the Yellow Pages, but they're digital now. Everything is online,
yep.
Including, can I say this? The web-based claims processing, iClaim, is web-based.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And Patrick, when was the last time we've ever asked or told any of our licensees to go get a billboard?
A billboard? Do you know how expensive a billboard can be? It's incredible. I don't know. Anyway, that's right out of that book. So if you've been following this guy, you are in trouble. Okay. I stuck this in here, Eric, just because I wanted to talk about specialties, but it's pretty simple.
Right.
For people who are wondering what's the best way to get started in medical billing, here's a tip. There are 4 areas, mental health, chiropractic, podiatry, and physical therapy, that are fairly easy compared to some of the specialties. You don't have to know near about these, and they have usually, well, let me just put it this way. Sometimes a chiropractor is seeing patients himself. He's booking the appointments. He's cleaning the office after hours. He's doing everything. So, smaller areas of practices like these can be very easy to sign up. So if you're wondering what are some good targets, again, I thought that fit in. Just look at those at the very first, if there are some in your area. And then I wanted to address this question too, Eric. Should you speak with your own doctor? You've had people do that, haven't you, Eric, before they came down here to their training?
Absolutely. And, that is, if you know your doctor well, I think it might be pretty good just to ask him maybe just what system that they might be on.
Yeah, that'd be okay to ask them what kind of computer system or software they're using for their billing. Or maybe while you're getting an exam, maybe you should book an appointment to go see the doctor and just say, I kind of feel bad. And while he's examining you, you're asking him all kinds of questions about it.
Yeah. I think you had someone actually do that. I think that was hilarious. But
that was his marketing method. He said, hey, I'll spend $75 to go get in front of a doctor for, 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So Well, folks, we're going to wrap it up here by telling you one more time about our training class that's coming up. We do this about, what is it now, Eric? About maybe 5 or 6, about 6 weeks apart, aren't you?
Every 6 weeks, and again, sort of how it's falling here this first 3 months of the year. There's really only 2 for the first quarter. We just got through with our first one for January, or for the first part of this year, which was in January. Our next one is the last 4 days of February and the first day of March, and so really the next class after that is like April the 8th, I believe. So, but if you're looking to get started in the workshop or into medical billing, you want to get started off with the right foot, and that is to attend our training. Give us a call here, 866-565-8413. We'll talk to you much more detail about the training. But, you know, Patrick, I like the slide that you got coming up next, because we've had licensed prospects ask, well, what about after the training? So let's talk about, and don't go through all of these, but just talk about the continual webinars that we are continually do as part of their training course.
Yeah, folks, this is a part of your license fee. Again, you don't pay extra for these. All these webinars are held just like you're seeing today through GoToWebinar, and it's for our licensees. So specifically, we continue to go into all the subjects that you see here. We're doing these about once every 3 weeks or so. So, you know, actually each month I think you're going to pick up maybe 2 per month, and those are ongoing. They're for our licensees. No matter how long you're a licensee, you continue to come and learn more information. So ours is a continuing educational institution. And folks, some of the marketing methods that we've talked about today, by the way, I'm going to be putting some slides up here as we wrap up. I'm going to get to our 100% guarantee. While I do that, I'm going to show some people that these folks have actually utilized the things we've talked about today. And they've built their business utilizing the exact techniques that we just told you about. So they may seem simple, but when we show you how we specifically apply those techniques to marketing medical billing services, you'll see that you can build a business as big or as little as you wish. You can stay in your home. You can open an office like some of these people have done. You can hire employees, or you can just keep it as small as you wish for you and your spouse to do it. You can add staff of up to 7 full-time employees like this lady has, or you can just continue to work right there out of your home. It's up to you. It's your choice, and this is proof positive, I say, Eric, that what we're teaching people works.
Right. Absolutely. Well, you've got you want to talk about, and I think you're about to come up to it. Let's talk about next week's webinar.
Yes, next week you guys need to sign up right now so you can hear this interview. I talked to Carla Lee Martinez yesterday on the phone, and she has some exciting things happening in her business. This is her back in I don't know when it was, come to think of it, a couple of years ago at least. She graduated from our training class. You can see she's kind of small of stature. She was 21 years old, I think, at the time. And wait till you hear her story and where she's at right now. I'll just give you a hint. You will not want to miss this. This young lady takes a vacation, you ready for this? Once a month.
Wow.
Yeah. She's got people doing all the work for her, and she's making over $10,000 a month in medical billing. Okay, so here's how you register. If you didn't know this, you can go right to our website. See it up there at the top? absystems.com/webinars, and you'll be able to register. See the big orange register button there? Just register for that, and you'll be able to go ahead and get ready for that one next week. Same time, same place, same station.
Yep. And folks, the interviews with licensees is your great chance to listen to their stories and hear from them. Patrick and I, we try to do these educational type of webinars every other time, and then the other times we'd like to bring in our licensees so that we can have them talk about their success, what they've been able to do, how they've been able to build their business. So get that one signed up. And I'm a lot of people ask, gosh, can I do this business? Absolutely. So come listen to their story. Patrick, let's talk about the 100% money back guarantee that you offer.
Yeah, folks, we know that we go through a lot of information. We know you do a lot of due diligence before you invest in our business, but you still don't know for sure until you've gone through our training. At least that's the way I look at it. This is the way I would want people to do business with me, so I came up with this guarantee. If you go through our training workshop here in Dallas, and for any reason you don't think this business is right for you, just tell any of our staff, and they'll arrange for you to receive a full refund of your license fee. That's right. Every penny of your license fee is refunded to you if for any reason you don't think this is right for you. And I don't know how you could be any more fair than that. I don't know of any other company that does that. Do you, Eric?
No. I know that with I think our competition, once you purchase, you're in, and there's no money back getting back with them.
We've heard that from people who wish that they could have gotten their money back, haven't we?
Right, absolutely. Well, anyway, folks, again, it's been a pleasure of ours. I know, Patrick, it's